Welcome back to the Wargrove of Well. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Verminlords and their various iterations. This is a continuation on my first Greater Demons of Chaos. So if you enjoy this video, maybe give that first one a look. Before we get started, I would like to say I have a Discord, and the link to that will be in the description below. Additionally, before we do get started, something to keep in mind is a whole bunch of these Verminlords have the same profiles. So after I say them once, I won't go through the specifics of them. You're welcome to pause the video and take a look for yourself, but one Verminlord's prehensile tail is more or less the same as all the other Verminlord's prehensile tail. That is mostly just for my own sanity and to keep this video a little bit shorter. Without further ado, let's get started. The first Verminlord is the named Verminlord, Lord Skreech Verminking. He is 330 points, and he has a degrading move chart, 10 bravery, 12 wounds, and a 4-up save. He can cast twice, and he has 2 unbinds. For melee profiles, he has the Doomglaive and the Plague Reaper. The Doomglaive is a 3-inch reach, 6 attacks, 3 3s to hit, 3s to wound, 1 rend, d3 damage. The Plague Reaper has 1-inch reach, a degrading chart for attacks, 6s to hit, or not 6s, that'd be really bad, but also very Skaven. 3s to hit, 3s to wound, 1 rend, 1 damage. For missile profile, he has the prehensile tail, which is 6-inch reach, degrading chart for attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, 1 rend, 1 damage. For unique magical spells, he does not have the Infernal Gateway. That's a typo on my end. He has the Dreaded 13 spell. It has a range of 13 inches, like most things Skaven. It has a cast value of 8, and you pick one enemy and roll 13 dice, and each 4-up is a mortal wound. For each model slain, you can summon 1 clan rat, wholly within 13 of Skreech. Now, something to note with this summoned clan rat is they cannot be reinforced afterwards. It's considered a understrength unit. So however many clan rats you summon with this spell are added to this understrength unit, and that is the maximum value for that unit, more or less. So you can't like rally more rats to it. For command ability, he has a really good one, the rerolling wound rolls of 1 for all Skaven-tied units wholly within 13. This is really powerful, gives you a lot of value because it's just a generic Skaven tide. It's not tied to one clan like some of the other Verminlords. So more or less any Skaven unit can benefit from this. For unique abilities, he has a 5-up ward, 1 bravery, or excuse me, not 1 bravery, -1 bravery to enemies within 3 inches. And what's unique to him is he is kind of like the Verminlord of all Verminlords, and so he has little blips that come to him from each of the major clans. So for Scryer, he gets +1 to cast and unbind. For Mulder, he can heal d3. For Pestilence, he gets 6s to hit with the Plague Reaper, deal 1 mortal wound in addition to normal damage. For Eshin, the Doomglaive gets -3 rend. And for Verminus, he gets just a flat +1 to hit. Now each of these buffs, he can only activate 1 per turn. And once he activates it, he cannot choose it again. So make sure you kind of pick and choose these as you need them and think forward of if you might need them in the future. So I think Lord Skreech is the best general purpose Verminlord. If you are souping a whole bunch of clans and you just need a general purpose Verminlord, he's the one to do it. He doesn't really focus too hard on a specific clan, and he's just going to help Skaven in general. And he's also considerably cheaper than some of the other Verminlords, which is kind of nice. He has a good spell, even though it is a little hard to cast. He's good in melee, he has a good buff, and he has very flexible self buffs with the various clan buffs he can give himself. I think that Lord Skreech is one of the best Verminlords because of how general he is. Gives you a lot of flexibility in list building and lets you kind of Play a little bit more wide in terms of which clan you want to specialize in. He is best to back up your front line or near where your units are so you can get the command ability aura. And also just keep in mind his aura also affects himself because he has the Skaven Tide keyword. Next is the Verminlord Corruptor. This is your clan Pestilence Verminlord. He has a degrading move chart, 10 bravery, 12 wounds, 4 up save, and 2 casts and 2 unbinds. This stat line is the same for every Verminlord, so I won't be going over it anymore, but just so you know, it's degrading move, 10 bravery, 12 wounds, a 4 up save, 2 casts, 2 unbinds. The Verminlord Corruptor has the Plague Reaper. It is very similar to the one that Skreech has, but it does not have a rend pip. It's 1 inch reach, degrading chart, 3s and 3s, no rend, 1 damage. The Corruptor has the Prehensile Tail, and for the unique magic spell, they have the Dreaded Plague, a 13 inch reach, 7 casting value, and you pick an enemy and you roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in the enemy unit, and each 4-up is 1 mortal wound. This is a very good variant of this spell type. There's a lot of spells like this, but oftentimes they are mortal wounds on 6s. So having it on 4s is pretty good. It can get you a fair amount of damage on, especially on horde type enemy units. So since this is the Pestilence Verminlord, his command ability gives you rerolling all hit rolls for friendly Pestilence units. And that's really powerful because a lot of Pestilence units will deal like mortal wounds or score things on 6s because they're plague and all that jazz. Speaking of which, the 6s to hit with the Plague Reaper deal 1 mortal wound, not in addition to, but just flat. Additionally, at the end of combat, you roll dice for each enemy within 1 inch of the Corruptor, and each 4-up deals 1 mortal wound. Additionally, all Verminlords have a 5-up ward and the -1 bravery. So this is your clan Pestilence specialized Verminlord. He has a really good spell. He has good melee, and he's the cheapest of the main Verminlords. There's one that's cheaper, but he's out there. We'll get to him last. The Corruptor works best when near Pestilence units and can do some pretty good mortal wound damage with the 6s to hit to get through high armored units. The Corruptor also has the Pestilence keyword, so it benefits from its own command ability. Next up is the Verminlord Deceiver. He has the same stat line as all of the Verminlords. He has a Warp Stiletto, which is unique to him. It has 1 inch reach, 6 attacks, 3s to hit, a degrading chart for wounds, 3 rend, and d3 damage. Really powerful melee weapon. He has the Doomstar, which is also unique to him. 13 inch reach, 1 attack, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, 1 rend, d3 damage, and then the Prehensile Tail that all Verminlords have. He also has a phenomenal magic spell, the Dreaded Skitter Leap. It has a 26 inch reach. Cast value of 6, and you pick 1 Skaven Tide hero with less than 12 wounds within range, and you can teleport that hero anywhere on the map outside of 6 inches from an enemy. So it's like a teleport, but better because you get a more consistent charge out of teleport. As this is the Eshin Verminlord, the command ability lets you reroll wound rolls. So every wound roll for Clan Eshin units wholly within 13. They have the 5-up ward, and the -1 bravery. Additionally, they have a -2 to hit them with missile weapons. So very good against missile-based factions. Additionally, if you are targeting something with 10 or more models, the Doomstar does d6 damage. This is probably up there for one of the other really, really good Verminlords, mostly because of their spell. This is a Clan Eshin Verminlord, so they work best alongside other Clan Eshin units. And they have a really good combat abilities with range, as well as skirmishing around and doing a fair amount of damage with that stiletto. The Deceiver, of course, is best used when other Eshin units are nearby to take advantage of the command ability. And yeah, this is a really good Verminlord. Next is the Verminlord Warbringer. Same stat line as all the others. They have the Doomglaive and a unique Spike Fist. The Spike Fist has 1-inch reach, 1 attack, 3s to hit, a degrading chart for wounds, 2 rend, and 2 damage. They have the Prehensile Tail. For their unique magic spell, they have the dreaded Death Frenzy, 13-inch reach, casting value of 7, and you pick D3 Skaven-Tide units wholly within range, and until your next hero phase, they can fight and pile in before they die. So yeah, that's a really, really good spell. For command abilities, you can reroll hit and wound rolls of 1 for friendly Verminous units wholly within 13. They have the 5-up ward and the -1 bravery. Additionally, so the Warbringer rerolls all wound rolls for itself if within 13 inches of 13 or more Skaven models. Additionally, 6 to wound with the Spike Fist deals 6 damage instead of 2. It's not mortal wounds or anything, you still got to make the saving roll, but it's still pretty good. This is your clan Verminous Verminlord, and it is the most fighty of all of the Verminlords. It's best kind of up in the front alongside your hordes of clan rats and storm vermin. And the spell is also really good for those big hordes. Really lets your big units have value before they blow up and die. If you are wanting to do a very horde heavy list, this is going to be your hammer for Verminous. The spell is also really good, if I haven't said that enough. I really like the spell. Next is the Verminlord Warpseeker. This guy's an interesting one. He has the same stat line as all the other Verminlords. He has the Doomglaive, and he has the Prehensile Tail. His unique magic spell is fairly good in the dreaded Warp Gale. It has a 26-inch reach, a cast value of 8, and you target one enemy model, you deal d6 mortal wounds, and then you have the run and charge roll until your next hero phase for that unit. Also, if the target is flying, you remove the flying from that character, or yeah, that unit, excuse me. The command ability is really good, especially for Skaven. It gives you battle shock immunity for Skaven units wholly within 26 inches of the Warpseeker. The Warpseeker has the 5-up ward and the -1 bravery. Additionally, on a 3-up, you get 1 command point in your hero phase, so the potential to generate more command points. This is really good. Additionally, they are +1 to save, but you can do a once per game mortal wound bomb, so deal d6 mortal wounds to an enemy within 13, but you lose that +1 to save. So like how it's written is he's kind of looking into his warp orb that he has in his hand, and that's letting him see the future or whatever, and so he gets the +1 to save. Or he can like crush the orb and deal some damage, but then he loses his +1 to save. So this is your Master Clan Verminlord. He is kind of like a manipulator. He has the really good spell and additional command point generation. He's pretty good in melee, but really I think he's best as a backline hero with good magic and command point generation. And he's also just really good to keep your other units in the fight if you're running a lot of horde style things, or just generally because Skaven don't have good bravery. Last but certainly least is the Warpna Verminlord. This is the Forgeworld Verminlord, and if you've watched the part 1 to the Greater Demons of Chaos, you should know that Forgeworld models A suck because fail cast, but also are really bad in game most of the time, minus the Slanesh one. For a stat line, he has the same stat line as all the other Verminlords. He has a unique Gnawglaive, which is 2-inch reach, 4 attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, 2 rend, and then a degrading chart for damage. That's actually pretty okay. The Prehensile Tail, and then unique magic spell, Splinter Screech, 13-inch reach, 5 casting value, and you pick a model within range, and you roll a dice. If it is greater to or equal to the target's wound characteristic, that model is slain. He has the 5+ ward, and then the -1 to enemy bravery. And what makes him so unique is you can set him up in reserve. Woo! But he can't deep strike. You have to set him up next to a Nahul. This is your Forgeworld Master Clan Verminlord. The spell is fine and the combat ability is okay, but he's just kind of underwhelming. He's cheap. He's the cheapest Verminlord, but I don't recommend taking him ever. Well, that covers all of the greater demons of the Great Horned Rat, or the Verminlords as they are known. There is a whole lot of options here, and I think that you can run all of these Verminlords and have some pretty good times. They all have a whole lot of value they can bring to your Skaven list. I think that the standouts for me are the named one, the Lord Skreech, or probably the Eshin and Corruptor one. I think those probably have the best value, but it's really close. You can more or less take any of them, except the Forgeworld one. Don't take that one, ever. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment, and if you would like to see more of this kind of content in the future, please consider subscribing. This has been the Wargrover Well, and I'll talk to you guys next time.